Here he is then. He's the West Country dairy farmer who rode his own horse to victory in 2008, famously jumped on his horse's back when ridden by Nick Scholfield at Wincanton, which got him a rap over the knuckles from the BHA. It wasn't his worst rap over the knuckles because they warned him off for a few years. We'll come to that in a little while. And this was my first encounter with Anthony.
Number 35. Here we go. Oh, the romance.
These are natural, absolute natural.
Yeah, I'll pick up speed as we go along. But, come on then, Billy.
Right. Okay.
All three. Oh, there's more.
Okay, the chain.
Next one.
Yep.
And that was shortly before one of Anthony Knott's cows decided to, well, how can I put this delicately, do what it needed to do all over me. It's great to have you. Great to have you back. Great to see you. You're back in the fray and you've got a runner tonight at Wolverhampton. You've got back into racing after a period out. We'll come to that in a few moments' time. What got you back in?
You always have that desire, don't you? Once you've had it, and the success I had with Hunt Ball, and I've got some friends that's got back into racing, so I decided to have another go.
Can we go right back to Wise Men Say, which was 2008? And it's fair to say no one had really heard of you at that point, had they?
No.
But you had a long-held ambition to ride your own horse to win a race.
Yeah, I'd done some point-to-pointing for my dad. And then my dad became ill, so I had to stop and run the farm. And then I thought, I got to 40 odd. You see Tony McCoy riding 200 winners a year, and I haven't even rode a winner. So I set about, if he can ride 200 a year, I can surely ride one. So that's how it came about, really. And I was down with Colin Tizard. And he had this horse down there that was lame at the time. He couldn't get it right. So I did, and I said, I think it needs a bit of time. So I bought it, had about 6 months off, brought it back in, and set about trying to win a race.
And win a race you did?
Yeah.
At your local track as well. How far do you live from Wincanton?
10 miles.
10 miles. Yeah. And obviously a lot of the local faithful knew exactly who you were. And it's fair to say that the celebration exceeded anything I'd ever seen.
Yeah, it was. I just didn't realise it was going to explode like that. Really, it was very special. And yeah, if you can't do it on your own local track, well, no point doing it, is there?
So you're a guy who basically nobody knows. You've ridden this winner at Wincanton. The next morning, what happened?
Well, the media exploded, basically. It actually went on to the American TV as well.
You were getting calls from CBS and ABC and...
Yeah, everywhere, global. I didn't realise what I'd actually achieved after sort of 28 years trying to ride a winner.
And let's take a look at Wise Men Say. This is Wincanton, 2008. And this is Anthony in the hoop colours, the pale blue sleeves. And was this in a hands and heels race or similar?
Yeah.
So you're riding basically against like young 17, 18-year-old conditionals and amateurs?
Yeah, well, Steve Smith-Eccles gave us a walk of the track. And I remember him looking at me and thinking, I don't think you should be here. Because I was looking older than he was.
And it's a distinctive style.
Very.
So he won, you became famous, and then really your fame continued through your ownership of a horse called Hunt Ball, who everybody will remember. Just tell us how the Hunt Ball story started.
It started with Kieran was down with Colin Tizard.
It's Kieran Burke.
Yeah, before I ever had Wise Men Say, I had another horse what I bought off of Martin Pipe. Called I Claire Dairies, which I was going to come to ride that anyway, the horse become too fit too quickly, and there was a conditional jockey's race up at Cheltenham, and Kieran could take off £10 off his back, and I said to Colin, you've got to let him go. And I'd never been to Cheltenham, and you know, they talk about the Cheltenham Hill. Well, the farther he went, the farther he won. We didn't even know there was a hill there. And and I thought, well, I've missed my chance of having a winner, you know, ride my own winner anyway. And so then Colin had this Wise Men Say come up, and I thought, right, I'm going to buy this one to do the job then. So that's what I did do. And then Kieran went on to start up on his own. So I always like to try and help somebody young to get going. And he rang me up and he said, I got this horse down there. So I went down, and you know, the rest of it's really history.
And so how many races did he win that season when he ended up winning at Cheltenham?
9.
9 races that year. And ended up carrying 12 stone 2 in the novice handicap at Cheltenham. And that was your famous line, wasn't it, when I said, you'll still be up at 3 o'clock in the morning milking the cows, and you said, bugger the cows. Yeah,
it was, and that's what I did do. It was, you know, it was life-changing. And you can't explain it, and I've been milking for 35 years, 100 hours a week, trying to save money up, basically to buy a horse and to run, because it's quite expensive to do. And I've just been lucky.
Mm. So did you finish with the cows at that point?
Yes.
You did?
Yeah.
So any regrets now?
No, not at all.
Was it you don't feel it was too impulsive a decision? Because this was your life. I knew how much you'd grown up with and loved farming in many respects.
Yeah, no, it was third generation of milking cows. But there becomes a time in your life, and I thought I'd been hammering at it all that time, and this had come along, and I thought, well, I don't need to work. Well, not work, but you know, I could take it easier. Mm. And also the dairy industry was a bit older pot at the time, so it was right move at the right time.
And is that because you'd backed the horse and won a lot of money, or because you then sold the horse and made a lot of money, or both?
Both. Basically, I was really lucky. Well, like I told, well, I know you missed out on it, but hey, but I had I had that, and then the Americans came on and wanted to buy it, so it was win-win. Mm-hmm. I know some people thought, well, how could you sell it or whatever, but if somebody comes along with that golden checkbook, well, you take it, don't you? If
it's going to change your life.
Yeah.
And it clearly did change your life. Now, there were some extraordinary moments along the way. You know, Wincanton, when you came in and jumped on the back of the horse with Nick Scholfield, and you got a rap over the knuckles from the BHA. You did a deal with, I think, Paddy Power, and they painted the quarters of the horse green. Do you remember that, Yates?
I do remember that. And
clearly, it wasn't everybody's cup of tea. Do you look back on any of those stunts and parts of the journey along the way with any regret or not?
No, none at all. You know, it was within the rules. No, you know, there's not a rule that you can't sort of advertise on your horse, and it was a fun, and the public enjoyed it. They were looking for the next stunt, what we were going to pull, really.
And so it was all part of the adventure for you.
It was an amazing adventure. You know, it doesn't matter what else I do in life, is never going to take me to those heights again, is it?
And were you enjoying the limelight as well? Were you enjoying your own kind of pseudo-celebrity status at the time?
Yeah, of course. But we were all on a roll. You know, getting beat wasn't even in the equation. You know, we were going there and we knew it was going to win. It was just happy days. Mm.
And how did you know you were onto something, or how soon did you know you were onto something? Because he's a horse who came from Mick Easterby pretty cheaply, didn't he?
Yeah.
And not many people, not get one over him, but not many people end up with a cast off from Mick that then goes off and does that.
No, Mick actually, I'm good friends with Mick now, and he...
Has he sold your horse since?
No, he's been trying. Mm. But Mick came when we were actually going to the Cheltenham Festival, and he came in and he said, oh, any chance to have a look around the horse? And I said, yeah, it's all right. And he'd been looking all around his neck and everything in his head, and he said, what the hell have you done to him then? I said, well, between you and me, Mick, it's a ringer.
given what we're about to talk about, I'm not sure. I'm not sure you could joke about that. But what had you done to him?
Well, nothing really. Kieran had found the trick to him, and you know, he just rocked up every time. Like I say, he was in that zone. Everything was right. The jockeys were right. Kieran had him bang on every time. You know, if it wasn't for Kieran, I wouldn't achieve what I've achieved, or what we all did with him.
Should we have a look at the Cheltenham race again?
Yeah, why not?
Yeah. Kieran Burke, Nick Scholfield, Anthony Knott team up with Hunt Ball. Hunt Ball in Anthony's colours there, the red and yellow hoops, the pale blue sleeves, cantering away in the race that doesn't exist anymore at the Cheltenham Festival, the novice handicap chase. David Yates, you'll remember this very clearly, 12 stone 2 he was carrying, and there was all sorts of banter with the handicapper afterwards. It was quite a story.
Yeah, it was. I think that I remember this very well. You did a piece with me, Anthony, during Hunt Ball's rise to fame, and I think for the most part it was a very enjoyable ride. I think that, you know, I don't agree with that old cliche about the press building people up to knock them down. I think that generally that's a load of rubbish. But I think in your case we welcomed your enthusiasm and your effervescence, and then I think in the end the knockers came out, of which I was one actually, in that maybe things had gone a bit too far with the Paddy Power stunt. But the obvious answer to that, apart from saying, well, I don't really give a stuff what you think, is that we can't have it both ways, and that for a time when we consider racing and its owners to an extent a bit joyless and a bit grey, you were certainly an antidote to that.
Yeah, I mean, the wise men say day at Wincanton, I will remember forever presenting down there, and how the viral reaction that got, and you know, Hunt Ball, there was a taste of that there as well. This was the famous interview that took place after that novice handicap chase at Cheltenham. You might recognise the bloke behind the mic and the one in front of it.
I told you we had 2 stone in hand, and he delivered what I thought he could do. There's one of your pundits, Liverpudlian bloke, he was going to lay it. Ain't got a clue what he's talking about. Reckon he can't jump right, can't jump left. And he want to know what a proper horse is. He's seen one now.
And you said to me last week, you said he'll take it up 2 out and they won't see which way you went. You were spot on.
I know. I told you all along, he's still in a wrong race. We could have took the Gold Cup out.
Maybe next year the Gold Cup, will that be the target?
Oh, I don't know, I just can't get it in my head now. You know what I said and what I thought he were capable of doing, it's happened.
And it's great to have all the family here with you as well.
It just is, and I just hope everybody here backed it and skint the bookies right out big time.
Anthony, well done. What a fabulous moment for you.
It is. You know, I can't express what it's like. I felt sick. I didn't think I'd be able to go home because everybody, even the paperboys, had backed it. And I thought I wouldn't be able to go back to Dorset again if it lost.
You'll be there 3 o'clock tomorrow morning.
No, I won't. Bugger the cows. I told everybody this is a money machine, and that's what he is. Yeah.
What a wonderful day.
Yeah, thank you very much, Nick.
Well done, Anthony.
Thanks for coming down the other day. You know, like I said, I just hope everybody lumped on and, you know, cleaned up really for the Cheltenham. So
we took your advice and we didn't get on each way. Here's Phil Smith, the handicapper. He told him he'd put him up too much. Well, he's having the last laugh as well. Wonderful scenes here at Cheltenham.
Oh, feels like a million years ago. Anthony Knott on Hunt Ball after winning that novices handicap chase. In order for you to enter the game again, it's not been an easy ride, because as I said at the beginning and in the introduction, you got banned, you got warned off by the BHA, because at the time back in 2014. They brought the case against you that you'd passed inside information to a friend who then laid a horse to lose, one of your horses to lose, for a lot of money on Betfair. Now, subsequently, the case was set aside and it was taken off your record, though it was neither quashed nor upheld because of the issues with Matthew Lone, who the BHA were using in roles that procedurally they shouldn't have been using him in. How was that as a period of time for you, Anthony? Given what we've just seen, given that high, and the massive emotion that you experienced there, how was it when you were unable to go racing and banned from the sport?
Yeah, it's quite bad. For something that you know, I was accused of and it was overturned. Yeah, it was. It hurt. But like I said, it was all overturned, and you know, and I'm back. And people has never ever said a bad word, which is really good. You know, all the racing people have been very good to me.
So what actually happened? What was your version of events? What was their version of events, and what was your version of events? Well, I was accused of passing off inside information, which was ludicrous, really, because I'd go onto a go to a racetrack. I'd get the TV people come over, so I was only putting my opinion over on a race of, you know, do you fancy this or don't you? No, I don't. I could just say I don't really fancy this horse today. All of a sudden, it was affecting the exchanges of what was happening, and oblivious of what was actually going on. So, and then when this came along, you know, I was hit for six with it, really. And anyway, but it's all got overturned, and I'm back, and I want to move forward and you know, contribute to the racing. And how did you find you know, your friends in the racing community, people in racing during that time? Did you find that they supported you, or were they like, well, I don't really want to know Anthony Knott anymore? We loved him when he was jumping on the horse and having fun and enjoying it, but we're done with him now.
Yeah, no, I never had any of that whatsoever. That was the beauty of it, you know, because people knew me, and you can't just have somebody that's been good to race and all of a sudden turn it sour. That's not good, is it?
So you've gone back in. Did it take a lot of soul searching to go back in, or has it never left you? Have you always wanted a bit of the action again? Yeah,
of course I do. I'm in the racing, want some more action, and I bought this horse to ride in the charity race for the Bob Champion Cancer Research, you know, which we raised, you know, 25,000 for, and so now the horse is going to go hurdling, but he needs the good going, so he's having a few spins on the flat. So
this is the first Sunday evening meeting, and are you going to Wolverhampton this evening?
I'm not, no.
No, I'm surprised.
Yeah, no. It's a fair way to go, isn't it?
And tell me a little bit about Ben Lund, who trains the horse.
Ben used to look after Hunt Ball, so that's the link with Ben. It's a bit like with Kieran. I tried to help them up the ladder. And Ben's just started out, and you know, he's a real proper horseman. And like I say, you know, he contributed to a lot to Hunt Ball. He rode him out all the time, and travelled with him all the time. And we had some really good times, and he was with it, even though he was behind the scenes. And so he's decided to start up on his own, and so I want to help him along the way. Now,
you've changed the colours. The sleeves have gone green from being pale blue.
Yeah.
What's happened there?
They're my sons. Kieran kept the original Hunt Ball colours.
Yeah.
So my son had these colours, so I've inherited them.
Okay. So no superstition, or it's nothing to do with...
No. New start, so new beginning, new everything. So.
And is there still quite a big part of you that is Anthony Knott the punter, as well as Anthony Knott the sportsman?
Yeah, of course there is. It's
you love a bet, don't you?
Yeah, of course we do. You know, most people in racing have a horse to have a bet with and enjoy it, and that's the whole thing of it. That's what makes it all, you know. And I think it's just lacking that little bit of that buzz, you know, and it just needs to bring that buzz back into the racing, and it just adds to it.
Are you the man to bring the buzz back?
Definitely.
So what's the plan then? What's the plan with this horse and you in racing moving forward?
I should go and buy a few more horses, and well, the next plan is to plan a winner.
And so what does the rest of your life look like at the moment? Since the cows went and you moved on, what have you been doing for the last decade?
Well, I'm still farming, we're doing crops. And yeah, so I'm going to, I've been doing up my house and building work and that sort of stuff. And now I'm going to, you know, start having a crack at this again before I get too old.
And do you look at this in a kind of business-like way? Do you look at it as or do you just look at it as, well, I'm frittering this away on my hobby?
Yeah, you know, your bit of money, what you've got on the side, you've got to go into racing and think it's gone, basically. And if you get anything come back, it's all a bonus. So that's how I see it. So I've got, you know, we've got a few pounds now, so I'm going to, you know, reinvest back into the racing. Like what hunt ball I got out of hunt ball, why shouldn't I put it back into racing?
Well, I think that's very commendable. Dave, is Anthony right? Do you think that the sport needs a bit of buzz, a few more characters, something different?
Yes, of course. Yeah, it's reporting on it has become a bit more sort of monochrome over the years, hasn't it? This is, you know, it was interesting having Gavin Sheehan here, because the victory of Hewick with Shark Hanlon bellowing at the crowd and the story of a horse that he'd bought for 800 quid, those are just stories that they write themselves, don't they? You don't need to be Shakespeare to put that across, do you? You know, they're just great stories, and sometimes flat and jumps, it can be a bit grey, and I wish Anthony all the best. You know, those things of the... I don't know how the hell you got on the back of that horse. How did you get on the back of the horse coming in? That
so Nick Scholfield rode him into the winner's enclosure at Wincanton.
Yeah, it sounds like a physical impossibility.
And you hopped on his back.
I was walking in, and I think he'd won three or four races, and I'm thinking, do you know what? I don't think I'd be going into the winner's enclosure anymore. And I was walking along, there was a little bit of an edge. I said to Nick, move forward, bing, bang, I was up there. Just couldn't believe it. And I still to this day, I didn't think there was anything wrong with it. You know, the atmosphere and everything, it just overtook me.
The horse must have had a well, I know, because he's been, hasn't he, in his dotage, a wonderful servant. I think Sarah Henderson.
Yeah, she's got him now.
Had him for years and years, and he does and has done everything.
Yes.
He must have an amazing constitution.
Yeah, he is he's just one of those horses that, like I say, is a once in a lifetime one. And but he was really good to train. Everything, it's just simple, and they don't come along like that every day.